Welcome to Mountain Cooking with Missy. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make some skillet fried chicken. This is just how my mom made it, my mama, even my papa Bill used to fry us up some chicken like this for breakfast. And I want to show y'all how to make some good old-fashioned skillet fried chicken. Hey mountain friends, are y'all ready for some fried chicken? I love fried chicken. My husband is a big fan of fried chicken. And if you all have seen me fry chicken before, I prefer to deep fry chicken because I think deep frying it gets it done more evenly and you don't have to worry about flipping it and stuff like a regular, like frying it in a skillet. But I'm going to show y'all how to fry chicken in a skillet. When I was growing up, my mom fried chicken in an electric skillet. Y'all remember them electric skillets that was famous in the 70s? So I grew up just seeing my mom fry chicken in an electric skillet. My mama would fry it just in a cast iron skillet on the stove. But mom usually used an electric skillet because it had the lid and everything. Frying in a skillet, you cover it. You cover it, and it's a little different than, it still gets crispy, but it's a little different than deep fried it, okay? So you do have to turn it and stuff, but you gotta fry it kind of a little slow because it's touching the bottom. It's where you got direct heat in a skillet. You got direct heat with your with the fire, whether you're using a gas stove or electric stove. So you got to fry the chicken a little less hot because you'll burn the bottom before it gets done and it get too burnt. And that's why I like to usually deep fry mine, because I don't have to worry about that. It just gets done more even. But I do love me some good skillet fried chicken. And I want to show y'all how I'm going to do it just like I grew up eating it. Now, one thing that we did do growing up, we either fried, I didn't really fry chicken until I got older. Maybe in my 20s, I started learning to fry chicken. But watching my mama fry it and my mom, they either used Crisco or lard. I don't like Crisco personally. I'd rather use lard or cooking oil to fry chicken. And so a lot of people have asked what's the difference between lard and Crisco. Lard is pork fat, and you can buy it. This is sometimes you'll see it says manteca, but on the other side it says lard. If you look on the bottom of the shelf when you go into like your grocery store, usually lard is in a bucket like this or in a smaller bucket, and it's usually on the bottom shelf where you buy cooking oil and stuff. The difference between lard and Crisco, lard is pig fat or pork fat. Crisco is vegetable shortening. So I'm not going to use pure lard to fry this chicken. I'm using a combination of a little bit of vegetable oil, which is canola, and I'm using a little bit of lard. I threw a little bit of lard in it. Got my skillet over here. I'm doing a big, my skillet's about a 12-inch cast iron skillet. But I added a little bit of lard into my oil just to give it a little of that old-timey flavor, okay? I didn't want to fry it in pure lard, but I wanted to get a little bit of that pure, good flavor because this is like old-timey skillet fried chicken. If you want it to have that good old-timey flavor, usually the old-timers, especially the people down home, I'm from Southeast Kentucky, they fix a lot of things in lard. If you don't want to do lard, just leave it out. Just cook it in regular, whatever oil that you want. But that's what I'm using today. Now, there's about 5 chicken legs here and 2 boneless chicken breasts. I do not like dark meat much, and Kenzie doesn't either, but Roger loves chicken legs, so I'm going to do, I usually don't fry like a whole chicken because we don't eat the thighs. We don't eat the thighs, and I like the wings, but Roger prefers the legs, and I prefer the chicken breasts, and so does Kenzie. So that's what I'm fixing here today, 5 chicken legs and 2 boneless chicken breasts. And I'm just going to salt and pepper them. Now what I did ahead of time, I patted them dry. This is room temperature chicken. It needs to be room temperature because it helps it fry better if it's room temperature. And so I'm just going to salt and pepper it. This is not going to have any fancy seasonings on it. I like to put like some garlic powder and a little bit of extra seasonings and stuff in my chicken. But I'm going to fry it just the way we had it growing up, with just some salt and pepper. And you want plenty of good pepper, and I'm just going to stir this up really good. A little bit more pepper, black pepper. You want to season it first. Now I'm going to pour some buttermilk over it, because buttermilk really makes chicken good, guys. And plenty of good black pepper. I'll give you a tip. If you don't want your chicken to be speckled, you don't want black pepper, use white pepper. Some people use white pepper, but so let me make sure it's good and seasoned. A little more salt, because now I'm going to coat mine in just regular self-rising flour. Nothing like crazy. No other kind of crumbs or nothing. All right, let me wash my hands off. Okay, now I wash my hands off, because, you know, anytime you're handling chicken, I'm always scared to death I'm going to touch something. But I try to keep my hands washed as good as I can. But look at there, got salt and pepper on it. And I do like a lot of pepper on ours. We like it pretty hot. Like little, not hot, but we like it peppery. I'm just gonna pour a little bit of buttermilk over it. Just enough to coat the chicken, okay? You don't need a big lot, but the buttermilk makes a difference. I'm convinced. I know it does. I've used buttermilk to fry my chicken for a long time, and I think it just does a tremendous job. The buttermilk just kind of tenderizes it and gives it that extra good flavor. So what I do now is, once I've got the buttermilk on the chicken, I'm going to let it sit here just a few more minutes. And just cover enough buttermilk. You don't want it real soppy. If you pour a little bit too much in there, just pour it out. You want it enough to coat the chicken. And let it sit there probably maybe another 10 minutes. And then I'm going to coat the chicken with our flour and then be ready to fry. All right, now it's time to coat the chicken. And I'll tell you another big difference that it made with me personally growing up. I grew up in Southeast Kentucky, and we always raised our chickens. To me, I think fresh chicken tastes better. Mamaw and us, I remember having to go do it plenty times, y'all, and it may sound a little gross, but we had to go, when we had chicken, we had to go out and kill the chicken to have chicken, fried chicken, or chicken and dumplings, or especially the holidays. I mean, that's what we had to do. And I remember my mom always going out, and Mom didn't care to go out and get the hen for chicken. I mean, it just is what it is. I don't have to go into no details. If y'all raised chickens growing up, you know the process it is to, the process of having to go out and kill a chicken. I remember it. You know, I'm 52 years old. I mean, I know some of you viewers may be old as me, or younger or older, but I grew up. You know, we grew a lot of our food, and we raised a lot of our meat. We didn't raise any cattle, because we were raised in a holler. We didn't have no pasture land, but we raised pigs and chickens, and we'd buy our cattle. Over in Virginia, wasn't too far from us, there were a lot of cattle farmers, and we would buy beef and put it in the freezer, but we raised our pigs and our chickens. And so, yeah, if you wanted fried chicken, we didn't go to the store and buy it, y'all. We just had to go out and kill the chicken. That's just the way it is. And, but that's country life for you. So, I mean, or mountain life. You know, I grew up in the mountains. That's how we did it. And I know a lot of other people, grew up on farms, done the same thing. You just raised what you ate. And it's better. I will tell you, fresh chicken, anything that's fresh that you've raised yourself. I commend farmers and people who raise their own food and stuff. I mean, it's a lot of work. It really is. So what I do, I coat it really good. And you want to make sure that it's all well coated. And I just keep taking it with my hands and coating it really good. And self-rising flour has salt in it, y'all. So I recommend, if you're coating your chicken, to use self-rising flour. So once it's good and coated, I let it sit a little while longer, and you want to make sure it's not, everything is coated. You don't see no wet spots, because frying it in a skillet will create a good crust on it, and you want all that goodness on there, and on the bottom you're going to have all that good crusty, crumbly stuff, and that's good to make some good chicken gravy out of. So, and we're going to be doing that too. So, all right, so it's all coated. I'm going to let it set here for about 5 minutes until I get my grease ready. Now I'm going to check my grease and see if it's hot enough. I just take like a little bit of the flour that I'm already got here in my bowl that where I've been mixing my chicken. And you see that? It's ready. So we're gonna put our chicken in. All right, chicken is ready to go in. So I like to shake off the excess. Set it right down in there. You want probably about that much oil in your skillet, about like that right there, maybe a little over an inch. Put my legs in. Now I'm going to put my chicken breast in. Let me scoot these over a little. Got plenty of room. It may look like it's got you crowded, but it's really not. It'll fit. Chicken breast. Now chicken breast takes less time. I'm going to let them fry about 5 minutes on each side. Now the legs will take longer. Now I'm going to cover this. So with skillet frying your chicken, you cover it. And this is a pretty big, thick piece of chicken breast here. So I'm going to stick it right down in here. See that? And I got my heat on about a medium high. And I'm going to cover it and let it fry for about 5 minutes before I check my chicken breast. I like my glass lid so I can see my chicken. So it's been almost 5 minutes. I'm about ready to turn it. Now, this is a cast iron skillet, y'all. It holds heat a lot. So you got to really keep an eye on your chicken. You don't want it to burn. And I turned mine down because a cast iron holds skillet. Holds a lot of heat. I turned my burner down to about a 3 because I have an LG stove, and this is a large burner. So I turned my heat down to about a 3. That way I can maintain what I got, but I don't want to burn my chicken. So I'm going to flip it. I flip mine with a big fork. And I just use a big fork like this and just flip mine, and a spoon usually. You're going to start turning the legs over. Oh, look at that golden crust on it. How good it looks. And don't worry if you turn in your chicken and any of your crust falls off. That's the good stuff on the bottom. Me and my sisters used to fight over it. Mommy would scrape the bottom out of the skillet. I remember pouring it on the chicken once you turn it, get it out, and then you scrape the bottom off, put the crumbles on top. But if any of it falls off, don't worry about it. So look at that, how good and golden, but it's not burnt. So it's maintained its heat. We'll cover it back up. I will time it for about 5 more minutes to check on my chicken breast. All right, y'all, look at the chicken. It's looking good. Now I'm going to turn it again. And about time probably for my chicken breast to be done, because they get done quicker. I'll go ahead and flip my legs over again, because these legs will take a while, because I'm frying it slow, so it's going to take a little bit. I'm going to flip them all again. Put that chicken breast there. So I've turned the chicken again, and I'm going to let my chicken breast fry a little longer. As with, it's just this kind of chicken, you just have to be a little patient with it, and there's no really set time. It's just according to how, your stove and how, what kind of skillet maybe you're using. But I'm not going to cover it anymore. I'm going to finish it off. I turned up my heat just a couple of notches, to about almost a 5. And I'm going to let it just finish frying like this right here. And until my till my legs are done, I'll be getting my breast out here in a little bit. And just let the chicken legs finish frying until they're done. But I'm not going to cover it anymore. This is how I like to do mine. I cover it, and then at the end I take the cover off and let it finish frying uncovered. Look at them chicken legs, y'all. I already got the chicken breast out. I like to put my chicken on a rack to let it, when I take it off, I put it on a rack and let it cool. And then look at these chicken legs. They're crispy, but they're tender. And what I do right at the last, I kind of turn them up a little bit, making sure that I got the sides good and done. Turn them up on the side a little bit. And let them finish off for just a few more minutes, and I'll be taking these out of the skillet. Look at there, y'all. What a mess of fried chicken that is. Y'all, I remember also my papaw Bill, my daddy's dad, would fry chicken for breakfast. He'd go out and get a chicken too out of the yard, and he loved breakfast, and he'd get up early and he'd wake us up. Sometimes we'd all go stay all night, and he would fry chicken like this, just like this, in a skillet for breakfast. And it was so good. See them crispins you got there? Just pile them right on top and let it cool off, because it's hot, and it'll be ready to eat. So I'm going to show you guys how to make some chicken gravy. I drained the grease off of my chicken, and I left some of those chicken crispies here around the edge inside my skillet, just to give it some good flavor. And I got about little less than a half stick of butter in there. And I'm adding just a little bit of this Better Than Bouillon chicken base that I use a lot. If you don't have that, you can leave it out, or you can add a little bit of chicken broth to it here in a little bit. But this is how I make it. And I'm going to add about a couple tablespoons of flour. And I add a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm just going to stir that just for, this is on about a medium heat. I'm going to stir that together, give the flour time to get, so it won't be raw. So this is my roux, and I'm using self-rising flour. So I'm going to just let that cook for about another minute, and I'm going to stir it with my whisk. I'm adding in about probably a cup and a half of milk. Start stirring it. So my chicken gravy is done. If it's a little too thick, you can always thin it down. And if you don't have the chicken bouillon base like I added in there, you can leave it out. Or instead of adding like a cup and a half of milk, you can do about a half a cup of chicken broth or stock and a cup of milk. And you can just thin it down with a little broth if you want to give it that extra flavor. But this is my chicken gravy that we're going to have with our chicken. All right, y'all. He's excited.
Yeah.
Look there, his supper. I made some green beans and some taters. Put some gravy on them.
And fried chicken.
And Daddy loves fried chicken.
I love fried chicken.
All right.
Missy don't burn chicken.
Missy don't burn chicken. He says it all the time.
Yeah.
All right, take your bite.
Well, thank you, Lord, for this food. Amen.
Amen.
I don't know what to eat. We'll eat
Take
chicken.
out that chicken
We'll do
first.
the chicken first.
All right, let's see.
Listen, y'all.
Did you hear that? Woo. One of Daddy's favorite meals.
Oh,
He's got plenty of favorites. But this is one of them. And I fried that in a skillet, Daddy. Old-timey way.
That's a bomb right there.
I like mine with a little hot sauce on it, but so I'm gonna go.
As the young people would say, that's bussin'.
Bussin'.
Don't know
I like
what that
the crispy.
means, but
Hear the crunch? His favorite's chicken legs, so.
yeah.
But there you go, guys. That's how I fry my chicken in skillet. The way my mommy did it, my mama, even my Papa Bill. I mentioned that Papa Bill used to fry chicken like this for us for breakfast.
Yeah.
Daddy likes it for breakfast too.
It is breakfast. I just woke up.
Yeah, he just woke up, so. Y'all always got my sweet tea handy. And if you're gonna have fried chicken, you gotta have some sweet tea. Go check out y'all sweet tea. Over the weekend, we ate in a restaurant. I ain't gonna say where. I took a drink of their tea, and I'm like, and he laughed at me, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's not.
it was funny.
It's not y'all sweet tea. It had enough sugar, but it just didn't taste good. I'm like,
She didn't drink it either, by the way.
I did not.
She ordered a glass of water.
I just said, bring me some water. But y'all, check out y'all sweet tea. I will drop their link in this video and also in the comments. Go, they just restocked. They had been out of decaf, so they just restocked. They got everything in. Don't have to wait. All their starter kits. So go check them out, y'all. It's some really good tea. Yes, even in the winter, I drink my sweet tea. And gotta have it with my chicken dinner here. So is it a winter chicken dinner,
There you
Daddy?
go. I was thinking that, but you beat me to it.
So winter chicken dinner. All right, y'all. So
I got Blue's attention.
yeah. So thank y'all for watching Mountain Cooking with Missy, where it's nothing fancy. He ain't gonna say it.
Just good eating.
Just good eating. Bye, guys.